The Pokémon series is notorious for being an approachable first entry into the world of turn-based JRPGs. For fans looking for your first entry or veterans looking for their newest playthrough in the world of Pokémon, these are the games that take the longest to beat. The latest entries in the mainline Pokémon series and the first true open world titles, Pokémon Scarlet and Violet, have a lot for players to discover and experience in the Paldea region. Despite technical issues, the game has one of the best stories in a Pokémon title to this day. With 3 main quests to pursue at your leisure, you'll have a fulfilling time on this journey. A soft reboot for the series, Pokémon Black and White's take on the US in the world of Pokémon saw a whole new deck's worth of original mons with all returning Pokémon locked to the post-game. If you're looking to get to that, the rich lore of Gen 5 and its legendaries will be wrapped up in roughly 32 hours. Despite Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon having entirely different stories compared to the original Sun and Moon, the completion time for both of these titles are roughly the same, at 33 hours. This tropical-inspired region of Alola brought with it some experimental ideas in the Pokémon series, like regional variants and trading traditional gyms for trials. The first direct sequels in the mainline Pokémon series, Pokémon Black 2 and White 2, take place 2 years after the events of Pokémon Black and White. These titles feature a whole lot of new features and locations for players to discover. An idea players want to see executed on in a similar way once again, this adventure also features a hard mode for series veterans. The third game in the Sinnoh region, Pokémon Platinum, refined what Diamond and Pearl established and adds the fan-favorite Distortion world. Bizarre new mechanics, new story, and walking on walls will be some of the highlights in this 35-hour journey. Many fans will say Pokémon peak tier, but the Generation 3 titles Pokémon Ruby and Sapphire come in longer than their third version, Pokémon Emerald. A noticeably larger map than previous generations, expanded animations, and more make these titles even more immersive. Arguably the best games in the series, Pokémon Heart Gold and Soul Silver come in as the second longest titles at 37 hours to complete the main story. This isn't even including the entire second region in the game. For players that want to complete both sets of gyms, you'll have an even longer road ahead than what Johto offers you on its own. The first entries on the Nintendo DS, Pokémon Diamond and Pearl, brought with them a massive new region, more complex animations, and visuals, plus a stronger narrative than past entries. That's already a lot on one DS cartridge, but Diamond and Pearl's battles are infamously on the slow side. Taking it all into account, they stand as the longest games in the Pokémon series at 41 hours to beat the main story. And these are the longest entries in the Pokémon series so far. We'll have to wait and see where the series goes from here, but until then, stay tuned to Game Rant for more.